You wake up at 3 in the morning. The room is quiet, but inside your mouth everything feels uncomfortably dry. Your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth. Your throat burns like you just swallowed hot air. You immediately reach for the glass of water beside your bed, take a long drink, and tell yourself, "I probably just didn't drink enough water." And by the next morning, you forget all about it. But the concerning part is that millions of people over 60 are doing the exact same thing every day without realizing that waking up with a dry mouth is not always something small. Research shows that millions of older adults regularly wake up with a dry mouth, but most assume it is just a normal part of getting older. They think it is because they slept with their mouth open, because the room was too cold, because they did not drink enough water, or simply because aging changes the body. And yes, sometimes it really is that simple, but other times it can be the very first sign that your body is dealing with something much more serious, from sleep apnea and diabetes to chronic dehydration, medication side effects, and even problems related to the heart and memory. The most dangerous part is that many people never realize their body has been sending warning signs long before the illness becomes obvious. A dry mouth in the morning may not sound frightening, but sometimes it is your body's quiet way of telling you that something is not right. And if you keep waking up feeling that way, it may be time to start paying closer attention to what your body is trying to tell you. Many people think saliva is simply water in the mouth. But the truth is, your body produces saliva for a very important reason. Even while you sleep, your salivary glands are still supposed to keep working. Not as much as they do during the day, but enough to keep your mouth moist and protect your teeth, gums, and throat from bacteria. Saliva helps wash away food particles left behind after dinner. It helps neutralize acid in your mouth. It keeps your gums from becoming irritated. It is also a natural protective layer that helps prevent cavities, bad breath, and infections. That is why when you wake up with a dry mouth, your tongue sticking to your teeth, and your throat feeling raw, it is not just uncomfortable. It means your body's natural protection was weakened for hours while you were asleep. And when that happens often, small changes start to appear. You may notice your breath smells worse in the morning. You may find that your lips crack more easily. Some people begin having trouble swallowing dry foods like bread or meat. Others notice that food does not taste as good as it used to. Many older adults even believe they are eating less because of age, when in reality, eating has simply become more uncomfortable because their mouth is always dry. That is also why many people begin losing weight, losing their appetite, or avoiding foods that require a lot of chewing without realizing the real problem may be starting in the mouth. Long-term dry mouth also allows harmful bacteria to grow more quickly. Over time, you may start getting cavities, even if your teeth used to be healthy. Your gums may become more inflamed and bleed more easily. Your breath may stay unpleasant, even if you brush regularly. What is surprising is that many people simply try to cover up these signs with mints, mouthwash, or more water, while the real cause is still there underneath. And for quite a few people, what starts as a dry mouth in the morning turns out to be the first warning sign of something much more serious happening while they sleep. One of the most dangerous causes of dry mouth in the morning is something many older adults are dealing with without even realizing it. Sleep apnea. You may think you are sleeping just fine. You go to bed at 10 p.m., sleep through the night, and do not wake up very often, but that does not necessarily mean your body is truly resting. For many people over 60, the airway starts to narrow during sleep. The soft tissues in the throat become more likely to collapse, especially if you are overweight, sleep on your back, have a stuffy nose, or have been snoring for years. When that happens, less air reaches your lungs. Your body is forced to open your mouth to try to pull in more oxygen. That is why so many people wake up with a dry, burning throat, cracked lips, and a tongue stuck to the roof of the mouth, as if they had spent the night sleeping in a dusty room. But dry mouth is only the tip of the iceberg. What is even more concerning is that while you are asleep, your body may be running low on oxygen over and over again, dozens of times every hour without you knowing it. Some people stop breathing for a few seconds, then start again. Then it happens again and again, all night long. Every time that happens, your heart has to work harder to make up for the lack of oxygen. Blood pressure rises. Your brain briefly wakes you up so you can breathe again. You may not remember waking up, but your sleep is being interrupted over and over. That is why so many people sleep for 7 or 8 hours and still wake up exhausted. They drink coffee all day. They feel sleepy while watching TV, riding in a car, or after lunch. Some people even wake up with a dull headache, heavy thinking, and worsening memory. If you snore loudly, wake up often during the night, use the bathroom several times, or a loved one has ever told you that you seem to stop breathing in your sleep, do not ignore it. Sleep apnea does not just make you tired. It also raises your risk of high blood pressure, stroke, heart attack, irregular heartbeat, and memory decline as you get older. Sadly, many people do not see a doctor until those problems have already become obvious, even though their body had been warning them for years with something as simple as a dry mouth every morning. And for many people, what is hiding behind that dry mouth is not a sleep problem at all, but blood sugar that has been slowly rising day after day without them realizing it. Many people first start paying attention to their dry mouth when they notice something else happening at the same time. They are waking up to use the bathroom more often during the night. At first, they assume it is just because they drank too much water before bed. But then they start noticing that they are thirsty all day long. They keep drinking water and still feel dry. They feel more tired than usual. Their vision becomes blurry in the evening. Their hands and feet begin to tingle or go numb more easily. That is when you should not ignore the possibility that your blood sugar may be getting too high. When blood sugar rises above normal, the body tries to get rid of the extra sugar through urine. That means you start urinating more often. And every time that happens, your body also loses a significant amount of water. As a result, you may slowly slip into a state of ongoing mild dehydration without realizing it. Dry mouth is often one of the first signs. What makes diabetes dangerous is that it does not always cause pain right away. It develops quietly over many years. You still go about your normal life. You still eat, walk, sleep, and do everything you usually do. But underneath it all, high blood sugar is slowly damaging your blood vessels, nerves, eyes, and kidneys. Some people do not see a doctor until their vision starts getting worse, until they lose feeling in their feet, or until a small sore on their leg refuses to heal. But when they look back, they realize their body had been warning them for a long time. Maybe it was the dry mouth every morning. Maybe it was the constant thirst that made no sense. Maybe it was having to get up 2 or 3 times every night to use the bathroom, even though that never used to happen before. People over 60 need to be especially careful because many signs of diabetes are easy to mistake for normal aging. They think the fatigue is just from getting older. They think blurry vision is part of age. They think nighttime trips to the bathroom are normal. But when several small signs start showing up at the same time, it is often no longer just aging. The good news is that if diabetes is caught early, many people can improve their blood sugar with simple changes like eating better, cutting back on sugar, moving more, and sleeping better. Sometimes a simple blood test can give you a much clearer answer than spending months guessing what might be wrong. There is one thing very few people think about when they wake up with a dry mouth. The cause may be sitting right there in the pills they take every day. The older we get, the more medications we tend to use. Some people take blood pressure medicine in the morning, allergy medicine at night, along with sleep aids, pain relievers, stomach medication, vitamins, and a few supplements. After a few years, taking 5 to 7 different pills a day can become completely normal. The problem is that many of those medications share the same side effect. They reduce saliva production. Allergy medications are a perfect example. They help with congestion and watery eyes, but they can also make your mouth much drier. Diuretics used for high blood pressure cause your body to lose more water through urine. Some antidepressants, sedatives, and sleeping pills can also leave you waking up with a dry throat and a bitter taste in your mouth. What makes this hard to notice is that the side effect usually builds slowly. It does not show up after just a day or two. It develops gradually over time until many people assume it is simply part of aging or just the weather. You may find yourself always carrying a bottle of water when you go out. You may stop enjoying foods like meat, bread, or other dry foods because they are harder to swallow than they used to be. Some people even notice that their voice becomes hoarse more easily in the morning. Some older adults begin eating less without understanding why. They say, "Food just doesn't taste good anymore." But in reality, their mouth has become so dry that eating no longer feels comfortable. When this continues, it can affect the body more than you might expect. Eating less can lead to weight loss. Weight loss can lead to muscle loss, weakness, and a higher risk of falling. A small problem in the mouth can end up changing your quality of life very quickly. That does not mean you should stop taking your medications on your own. What matters more is taking a closer look at everything you are using. Sometimes, simply changing the time you take a medication, adjusting the dose, or switching to a different option can make a big difference. And for many people, the reason they wake up with a dry mouth has nothing to do with illness or medication at all. It is simply because their body is more dehydrated than they realize. Many older adults are actually living in a state of mild dehydration without even realizing it. When you are younger, even a small drop in hydration can make you feel thirsty right away. But after 60, that sense of thirst often becomes much weaker. Your body still needs water, but the signal telling you that becomes easier to miss. That is why so many people only drink water when they start feeling dry mouth or dizziness, and by then the body has often been low on fluids for quite a while. Another reason is that many people intentionally drink less water because they are afraid of having to use the bathroom too often, especially at night. They think drinking less will help them sleep better. But in many cases, the opposite happens. When your body is dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker. Your heart has to work harder. Your mouth becomes drier. Your skin becomes drier. Constipation becomes more common. Some people start feeling foggy, dizzy when they stand up, or unsteady while walking. For older adults, even a small dizzy spell in the middle of the night can lead to a fall. And one fall can completely change the life of someone who was otherwise doing well. Many people think they are drinking enough water because they have a few glasses a day. But if you drink a lot of coffee, strong tea, alcohol, or soda, your body may be losing more water than you realize. Some drinks make you urinate more often, which means you may be losing more fluid than you are taking in. Your bedroom can also play a bigger role than you think. If you sleep with a fan blowing directly on your face, keep the air conditioning too cold, or run the heater all night, the air in the room can become very dry. When that happens, your body loses more moisture through breathing while you sleep. Some people wake up every morning with dry lips, a sore throat, and a dry nose without ever realizing that the real cause may be the room they sleep in. You do not need to drink a huge amount of water right before bed. What matters more is drinking steadily throughout the day. 1 glass after you wake up, 1 before each meal, 1 after a walk or some activity. That approach helps your body stay hydrated without making you get up to use the bathroom too many times during the night. And sometimes, dry mouth is not only about water or what you drink. It can also start with the stress and pressure you carry in your mind every day. Many people do not realize that a constantly stressed mind can also leave you waking up with a dry mouth every morning. You may not even call it stress. You may just feel like you worry more than you used to. You worry about your health. You worry about money. You worry about your children or grandchildren. You worry because you are not sleeping well. You worry because every year seems to bring a new problem with your body. And those thoughts do not disappear when you go to bed. Some people lie down at 10 p.m., but their mind keeps running. They think about a doctor's appointment next week. They think about bills that still need to be paid. They think about a loved one they have lost. They lie awake for hours without ever truly relaxing. When the body stays in a constant state of anxiety, the nervous system remains on alert. The heart beats faster. Breathing becomes more shallow. The muscles never fully relax. And one of the first things affected is saliva production. That is why many people notice that whenever they are stressed, their mouth feels dry, their lips become dry, or their throat feels tight. If this continues for weeks or months, dry mouth in the morning can start happening more often. Some people even begin breathing through their mouth at night because their body is always tense and breathing too quickly. They do not realize it until they wake up with a bitter taste in their mouth, a dry throat, and a feeling of exhaustion. What makes this harder to recognize is that stress in older adults is often very quiet. It is not like the work pressure people feel in their 30s or 40s. It may come from loneliness, feeling like you are no longer needed, fear of losing your independence, or simply feeling like your body is not as strong as it used to be. Some people live alone after losing a spouse. Some go through an entire day without speaking to anyone. Some appear perfectly fine in front of their family, but lie awake at night thinking about everything, and the body remembers all of it. Sometimes dry mouth is not caused by drinking too little water. It is a sign that you are carrying too much stress without ever having the chance to let it go. That is why simple habits like taking a light walk in the afternoon, turning off the TV earlier, listening to soft music, taking a few deep breaths before bed, or calling an old friend can make a bigger difference than you might expect. Because when the mind starts to calm down, the body often begins to rest the way it is supposed to. Dry mouth is not always a dangerous sign. Some days you may eat a salty dinner, drink less water than usual, or sleep with the air conditioner running too long, and it is normal to wake up with a dry mouth the next morning. But if it keeps happening and starts coming with other changes in your body, that is when you should see a doctor instead of continuing to guess what might be causing it. One of the biggest warning signs is dry mouth that lasts for more than 2 or 3 weeks without getting better, even after you try drinking more water. If your body keeps sending the same signal over and over, the problem may be more than simple dehydration. You should also see a doctor sooner rather than later if you begin having trouble swallowing, especially dry foods like bread, rice, or meat. Some people find themselves needing water constantly just to get food down. Others feel like there is something stuck in their throat all the time. If you have persistent bad breath, gums that bleed easily, cavities showing up more quickly, or a tongue that often feels sore or irritated, those are also signs worth checking. Many people assume these are only dental problems, but sometimes the real cause may be related to diabetes, medication, or another medical condition. Do not wait if you wake up every morning with headaches, fatigue, a hoarse voice, or feel sleepy all day long, even after getting enough sleep. These can be signs of sleep apnea, a condition that is very common in older adults, but often goes unnoticed for years. Unexplained weight loss is another thing you should never ignore. If you are not dieting, but your clothes are getting looser, your body feels weaker, or you are eating less because your mouth is always dry, talk to your doctor sooner rather than later. And if you have ever woken up in the middle of the night feeling short of breath, with your heart racing, feeling dizzy, or needing to sit up just to breathe more easily, do not keep trying to push through it. A simple doctor's visit, a blood test, or a sleep study can sometimes catch problems early that your body has been quietly warning you about for months. The good news is that in many cases, you do not have to wait until the problem becomes serious before you start improving your dry mouth. Just a few small changes in your daily habits can help you wake up feeling much better the next morning. The first thing is not to wait until you feel thirsty to drink water. Try drinking steadily throughout the day. 1 glass after you wake up, 1 before meals, 1 after a walk or doing chores around the house. This helps your body stay hydrated more evenly instead of trying to make up for it all in the evening. If you usually drink coffee, strong tea, alcohol, or soda later in the day, try cutting back for 1 week. Many people find that simply skipping that late afternoon coffee or evening drink makes a noticeable difference in how dry their mouth feels the next morning. take a look at the room where you sleep. If a fan blows directly on your face, the air conditioning is too cold, or the air in the room is too dry, your body can lose more moisture while you sleep. A small humidifier or simply lowering the fan and keeping the room more comfortable can make a real difference. If you deal with a stuffy nose often, do not just put up with it. Many people breathe through their mouth all night simply because their nose is blocked. Using saline spray, keeping dust out of the bedroom, or talking to your doctor about allergies may help you sleep better and wake up with less dryness. You can also chew sugar-free gum during the day to help stimulate saliva production. And using an alcohol-free mouthwash is another good idea because mouthwash with alcohol often makes dry mouth worse. Most importantly, take a few minutes to look over all the medications you are taking. Sometimes, changing one small thing can make you feel very different by the next morning. When you wake up with a dry mouth once in a while, it may just mean you had a rough night of sleep. But if it keeps happening week after week, your body may be trying to tell you something. The important thing is not to panic. The important thing is not to keep ignoring it. Many serious health problems do not begin with severe pain or a dramatic medical emergency. They begin with very small signs. A dry mouth, feeling thirstier than usual, a night of poor sleep, waking up more tired than before. The people who stay healthy the longest are usually not the ones who never have symptoms. They are the ones who learn to listen to their body sooner than everyone else. So over the next 7 days, try something very simple. Drink water more steadily throughout the day. Cut back on coffee and alcohol in the evening. Pay attention to whether you snore. Make your bedroom more comfortable. And every morning ask yourself, is my mouth still as dry as it was before? You may be surprised at how much difference a few small changes can make. And if things do not improve after a week, do not hesitate to talk to your doctor. Sometimes a simple checkup today can help you avoid a much bigger problem in the future. If you also wake up with a dry mouth often, leave a comment below that says, dry mouth. I would love to know how long this has been happening to you and what you think may be causing it. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel, because sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that help us stay healthier for longer.